Nowadays, life is intertwined with technology. Let's figure it out. Welcome to Life, Tech, and Sundry. Greetings. Salutations. Marcos here. Today, in the episode of Life, Tech, and Sundry, we have the classic 3 and a special guest. Starting alphabetically with A. Alan, please introduce yourself.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Alan here. Thanks again, everyone, for having me on the podcast.
Then there's the guest, as an I, for Israel. Please
How you
introduce
doing,
yourself.
guys? Oh, sorry, I came in too early.
You good? No problem.
Hi, how you doing, guys? My name is Israel, and happy to be here. Thanks for the invite, and looking forward to a fun time.
Then there's the classic, the usual, Mr. J.
Huh? Oh, sorry, I fell asleep.
And then there's M. There's me, Marcos. Okay, so let's begin the conversation.
Let's begin. What do you want to start with?
Well, previously we were talking a bunch, literally for an hour, and I didn't record it. That was freaking gold. But
But you didn't record it.
but the audience will never
Amazing.
know.
Amazing.
So let's talk a little bit about what do you as an introduction for Israel.
Yes.
What do you
Yes.
think this podcast is about?
Well, since just looking at the
Just as a first impression of the name,
name,
Life,
it
Tech, and Sundry.
has to do everything
Wait,
about.
but you have to say the right name. It's not Sundry.
What is it?
Sundry.
I told
That's
you.
what I said. And Marquito said,
See,
no, it's not
see?
Sundry.
No,
And I
no,
was
no.
like,
It
it's
is
Sundry.
Sundry. No, it's Sundry, but Marcos doesn't want to admit it.
I plead the
Sundry.
fifth.
I did
So-
put it in Google and it says Sundry.
No, yeah, it is Sundry.
It's,
So
just-
maybe at
it's just a
some
run.
point,
It's a
Marquitos,
running
you-
joke.
Marcos, maybe at some point, maybe you want to update the name to the podcast.
Should I put Sundry question
Could
mark?
be, yes. No, I think to something like more of you guys, I think will be a little more beneficial in the long run. So this way your audience gets more familiar with you guys. Because,
Or how about the acronyms LTS?
yeah, but
But still, what would that
yes.
stand for? If it's an acronym. I mean, you have time to rehash, and
workshop
rework
it.
rework the name if that's something you're looking forward to doing.
Maybe for the next season.
The only
Sure.
simply I suggest that is because when let's say I'm browsing through like so many, podcasts, I mean, it needs to grab my attention. If you have 3 letters, I'm going to think it's either a BLT, like something for food. Or
Delicious.
Something like that. I mean, you need to come up with something that is going to
Or
grab
maybe it's a K-pop band. LTS.
I mean, you can say life tech, and I mean, you have some
Life
time,
Tech
but
and dot,
And
dot, dot.
sandwiches.
sandwiches. So
Sun-dried
yeah,
tomatoes.
You have some time to think about it, but yeah, I'll definitely encourage you to make it a little more, so people
Personal
get
touch.
familiar. Yeah, more familiar. As soon as they see it, it's like, oh, maybe let me see what this is all about, and they click on
Right,
it. They listen
right.
to you guys. They like it. They'll subscribe. They subscribe. If not, then they just move on to something else.
About that, being eye-catching, I feel
Mhm.
like that can hop into one of the things in the notes called the social dilemma.
Oh, the social dilemma. Yes, we were talking about that movie. They
Is it
came
a
out on
documentary,
Netflix.
you think?
A documentary. I take it back. Yes, documentary from Netflix.
Uh,
Pretty good one. I recommend it.
let's see. Would you like to read the description, Josue?
Wait, but I don't see it.
You don't see it?
Yeah, what number is it?
13?
We're working backwards this time.
Oh, warning?
Yes.
Wait, but I don't know. It's a Wikipedia.
Yeah,
It's a
but
Wikipedia
it's
one.
I
Oh,
was
it's a
talking
movie?
with Isra about it, and it's pretty spot on.
Marco, we gotta fix the sighting here. Oh, it's a movie, yeah. I guess we unlocked for today.
Thank you.
Warning, we are but just for the
Just this
just
one.
for the next just this once. Don't use the Wikipedia because that's no good. Like you can't use that.
That's too a simple brain.
No, it's the fact
No,
that people
what?
can go in and be like, I like chicken in the description. But warning, we are slowly going into an echo chamber.
Echo.
Eco.
Okay.
I
Tomato,
it's
tomato.
H, then eco.
The H is silent.
Eco is like eco-friendly, not eco.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
eco-friendly. We are going eco-friendly. I'm kidding. and it's being monetized.
Going green.
Take a step back and chill. Social dilemma. So let's see this article.
So basically, it's that. Let's see. Our guest, Isra, you recommended me a while ago. So could you explain? Well, I feel like that explained it, but for either the other guests, the other speakers, aka Alan and Josue, have you guys seen it?
No, I haven't, but I've heard about the movie. And the only reason I haven't watched it is because I don't have Netflix.
Oh.
So this is the reason. But I mean,
I do not
maybe
have Netflix as well.
Yeah, so I might get around to actually subscribing for a month just to watch it.
For free.
I mean, right. But if you guys wanna break it down or give me a quick synopsis, I would be more than happy to listen to it. Even if you have spoilers, you know me, I tend to not care.
Marco, we need to spoil like the sound.
The only spoiler that you're gonna get is like you after watching that documentary, you want to delete all your social media platforms. That's the spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, no, that
Spoiler.
I did hear about that by a couple of trusted sources I listened to, where they basically break down everything that social media tends to do with not only information but how they basically add or subtract certain information depending on what part of the country you live in.
So
Yes.
basically, like let's let Isra explain, please,
Yes,
if you will,
please.
please, Isra.
Oh, sure. Of course. I mean, when I watch it, basically they interview certain people. They were involved in making Facebook, Twitter. I don't remember the other one. It was Instagram. Yes. And what happened is that, yes, Google. But I think this case, what happened is they were focusing more into when they originally made this platforms is for other reasons than what they are now. Like per se, they can influence people. Per se, someone is talking to me and they start quoting certain things, saying that somebody died, like a famous artist, and I'd be like, where is it? I don't see it I don't see it in the news. And they'd be like, no, I saw it on Facebook. I'm like, wait, you trust in something that you saw in Facebook? They're like, yeah, I saw it on Facebook, so it must be real. So that's what is happening with the social dilemma, is that people are putting stuff in social media and they're believing it. They think they're facts. Another thing is that they're able to influence you with messages and the way they push so much information to you, but using AI. So if you think about having a chess game against a computer, you're gonna lose. So it's basically the same thing here. The algorithm and all the information they're trying to push you based on the way you behave, the amount of hours that you spend on your platforms, what you like, what you comment on. The whole purpose is for you to be engaged with that phone as much as possible. So this way they're able to sell you ads, products, services, whatever, you name it. They're trying to get your attention. By doing so, they get your data, they process it, and they sell it to companies. So that's pretty much the whole thing that I got from this documentary.
Now, what I was trying to also, I feel like I also had this conversation with Alan, with Josue and Isra independently, and with Alan as well. But do you think that AI is already being used specifically in this case, social media?
100%.
This is to everyone.
I say 100% yes.
Alan? Josue?
Well, based on the information we got last time, I think that, and again, I don't want to be long-winded, but I think to a certain degree, yes, but it's not quite up to where I think the companies want it to be. I think they want to be even more intrusive, more than they even are now, and I think it's only going to get worse if we
or better for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess you can say that's perspective, but at least for the individual, like, ourselves, I think that's something we have to figure out, how much are we willing to give up in order for us to use a platform like a Twitter, like a Facebook. And again, me personally, I tend not to use Facebook. I have one. I created a profile a long time ago.
Me too.
But it's been I want to say maybe over 5 years that I haven't used it.
Wow.
Personally,
So
continue. Sorry,
yeah,
sorry.
like, I apologize, brother. So me personally, I haven't used it. So I have a Twitter that I created a while back, and maybe I'll get on it. Maybe if not once a week, maybe every once every 2 weeks. And again, it's not because I try not to go to it. It's just that to me, it, I'm not a big user of Twitter, so I don't even like I don't gravitate towards it. I have an Instagram account. I use it more than any other my other social media profiles that I have. But again, it's gotten to the point where maybe because I try to fill my time up with other things, I I tend to probably look at it maybe once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and then maybe once at night, and then call it a day on that. There might be a week where I just look at it maybe 3 times a week, like 3 times, and that's it, and not even glance at it and to try to keep up to date. But again, that's more of a personal choice, just because um maybe that's not something I long for, or I'm like, oh, I need to know what happened with XYZ person,
That gratification.
right? Or
Mhm.
me posting up a picture on the top of the Empire State Building, doing
You
something
planking.
crazy, right? Like again, when before COVID, I travel and stuff, and I'll take picture. I took pictures, and yeah, I posted those things up. But because nothing like that is going on right now, I, that there's less of me doing, going on Instagram and doing that. I mean, I can only watch so much people dancing the same song and the same dance.
Oh, you're referring to
I get
Reels and TikToks?
yeah, like I get so bored of that. I get tired of that. And to me, it's like if you've seen it once, you've seen it 1,000 times. So for me, it's nothing that attracts me. So I rather just put the phone to the side, or the social media to the side. And probably the most time I use some sort of app or something. It would probably be YouTube or a Spotify or Audible. And pretty much those are my three go-tos right now.
Yeah, but in those cases, I mean, just for going back to the conversation of using AI, is that if you realize in your YouTube feed, whatever you prefer, they're gonna be pushing that content. There is gonna be pushed towards you.
That's
So
an
that's
undeniable fact.
that's what I mentioned to you. That it's 100%. I believe they're using AI in all these platforms.
Well, I
Josue,
think
what do you think? I'm sorry.
also.
Go ahead.
Oh, my fault. Esteja. No, well, I was also thinking like, okay, so I mean, I totally get where you're coming from, and to be quite honest, like you don't even necessarily have to look at or basically look or search anything up. It doesn't take too much. Like, and to your point, Israel, it's like you can start having a conversation like where we are right now, and you can say Big Brother is listening and watching, because
Mhm.
like say we're talking about food. Yo guys, I'm in the mood for, I don't know, Shake Shack, Burger King, or something like that. And then when you open up your feed for Instagram or YouTube, or even on the Google search, or whatever the case is, one of the first things you'll probably come in contact or see scrolling down or up is an ad for
Yeah.
the things that you were talking
A
about.
coupon,
So
even.
yeah, so I totally get where yeah, AI is working, but again, I tend to think companies are, aren't at the level that they want to be. They want to be even more intrusive.
100%. I agree
Well,
with that.
yes. I mean, what is it? I forgot who says this. The technology advances every 18 months. It doubles.
Right. Yeah. For
It's
sure it does.
exponential.
Yes.
Every 6 months, I think.
Mm,
6 to 8 months, I think.
I thought it was 18 months. Something like
That's
that.
not even
Yeah,
2
it
years.
doubles. It doubles. Like it doubles.
I mean, we can see what the actual, like, as an example, a phone. Every 6 months, we're getting a new release of a different type of Android or iPhone every 6 months. So it wouldn't be hard to believe that some sort of algorithm or some sort of system that is placed by a Facebook, a Google, a Samsung, a Apple, all these, a Siri, Cortana, like all these things tend to update every so often. It's crazy.
Just to go back, that's called Moore's law.
What's
That's
Moore's
what it's
law?
called.
Okay.
Moore's
Moore's
law
law.
is what I was mentioning to you, that technology. Yeah, hold on. Let me read the thing to you.
No problem.
It's
It's like isn't that the three laws from iRobot?
okay.
No,
Computer
that's
chip.
a movie.
Yeah,
it's a
but
movie now.
there's the three laws.
It's
No, that's a movie.
computer chip will double every 18 months, resulting in a periodic increase in computer power. So that's what it's called, Moore's law. That's what I couldn't
Oh.
think. I just have to Google it. So every 18 months it doubles basically. So
Right,
eventually AI is gonna become. I mean, just for example, look at the what is that? The ring, the one that you ring the bell and the camera goes on, and
Oh, the
Right,
door,
right.
yeah, the ring doorbell.
The doorbell. Ring
I mean,
doorbell,
think
right?
about it. Just think about that. You could be in Las Bahamas and somebody rings your doorbell and you see them.
You
I
get an
mean, that's
alert on your
very-
phone. Yeah.
Exactly. That's super fast.
Right.
This conversation that we're having right now, is the three of us talking at the same time with really good quality. I mean, to me, it's amazing. It's we take it for granted, but I think it's
Right.
if you think about it, it's mind blowing.
I mean, we were talking back in the day about how the main thing that we all grew up with was Nextel, that brand of being tough physically
Nextel,
and being able
Yeah.
to talk with people via walkie-talkie.
the
Where's the
two-way
walkie-
radio. Oh.
Where's the two-way radio now?
Mm. Wait, Josue, did he fall
yeah.
asleep?
Maybe. No,
Maybe.
but like, okay. So let me start off by saying this. And I've told this actually to Marcos. The thing that we call AI nowadays, it's very incomplete. Meaning that the goal for AI is to basically be a replica of the human mind.
That's the
Um,
gold standard.
But what I consider AI now is sort of a pseudo AI. And the reason is because it can only make decisions based off of data that it has, but it cannot make decisions based off of emotion. That's something I kind of went into depth last
Mhm.
podcast. So what you consider AI is just simply, okay, this is what I have. These are my options. What's the best one that I can do? As far as for social media, and I usually said this to Marcos Elena.
We would go in depth. Yeah.
Yeah, is that social media platforms use machine learning
That which
to
is different.
learn who you are. And that's very true.
Social dilemma. This is the commentary. Yeah.
Yeah,
Basically it.
where that and it's on like you to be honest, you guys say it like it's this big thing, but for me who's seen it, it's kind of not that hard. It
Well,
really
that's
isn't for a computer
Because it's
Because-
it's
because
data points
because
that it fills in.
yeah, it's simple numbers for the computer and it picks it up quite quickly.
Well,
It's kind of
see,
astonishing.
the thing is that it's not so much what you saying is not so much as that. It's more like what they can use it for. That's the problem.
Like Excalibur.
No, yeah, and that's the thing. You can program the algorithm to do whatever you want it to do. And that's what I'm trying to get into. Is that they can, like I said with Marcos, you can train a model to based on what you search have a 85% relativeness of what it thinks you like, and send you ads on based off of that data. And the thing that gets it, and I didn't go into it, the thing that gives it is data is APIs and cookies.
Yeah,
Literally,
the advertising, the
cookies are
warning that gives
made.
you in the beginning of a
Cookies
website.
are made so that it can gather information from you. That's the main purpose of this. It has other purposes too, but the
Mhm.
main thing is to get as much information as you can from this user. And it's actually not that hard because you have to realize that everywhere you go, you're leaving behind something.
Mm-hmm.
Even via
you can try to encrypt it, you can try to disguise it, but you're still leaving something behind. And that something is what I'm guessing this documentary is about. Is one of the many things you leave behind is your data. What do you like? What do you search? and you agree to this when you accept the terms and conditions.
Terms and
Nobody really
conditions,
reads it,
right?
And then
but
they
you
change a
accept
lot.
it, which is why like you really can't. The one thing you can do is obviously don't use the thing, but if you're using them, you really can't fight back against it because you accepted it. You should have read it if you don't know.
If
The
you,
thing is that
yeah.
you have to make it sure. Once they give you those disclaimers, they're so tiny and they're so long. They make it in a way that you're not gonna read them. All you
It's
do
a
is just
mind game
basically
they
agree.
use towards the human condition that,
No,
I want
yeah.
things simple. And I'm not going to
So,
read that.
Yeah, they're
But
making it
even-
so hard.
But even if it's a mind game, I mean, ultimately, we're the one that's clicking yes to it, and you could say they're being deceitful or whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, we're the one that
Agree.
accepted the terms and conditions. So
Yep.
we're the only ones to blame in that situation.
At the end of the day, yeah, eat, and they wash
So-
their hands.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
well,
nowadays,
it's not that they. I don't think they wash their hands. I think, and I tend to agree with Josue about this because in this sense, like that's more of the type of thing. That's his world, I guess you can say, and the type of degree he's getting. So he's seen it
Yeah.
firsthand up close.
You've
So-
experimented with it.
So
yeah,
I
I've
mean,
made models like this before, honestly. Where,
So,
like,
have
you
you?
get
Right.
information and learn from it.
so I know this is his forte and expertise, and that it's not mine, and I can say, okay, again, back to what I was saying earlier. I think it's like companies aren't up to the point where they feel comfortable with what they're doing. They want more. It's like it's a never-ending situation where, yeah, we're like, we can think about it as suggestions or the little bit of information that we leave behind when we're doing a search or something. But for them, they absolutely made it into a business, but they
They
want
make
more. They
bank
want to
off
be,
that.
yeah, they want to be more intrusive. And again, I think it really boils down to like, are we gonna keep letting them do that? I mean, again, abstinence is always the go-to answer. If you really don't want anyone in your business, then don't use the service, or don't click yes, or try to find an alternative. But that's the thing. What is
It's
the
hard,
other
though.
alternative, right?
Duck,
But, like-
go, but not even them.
Let me contribute to that thing. With that subject, what happened is that I was telling Marquitos is that when I saw, after watching that documentary, I wanted to delete all my social media apps. I mean,
I can.
that's what I wanted to do it. But what actually stopped me from doing it is because I run a business, and when I have customers looking into my business, I'm 100% mobile, so I don't have a physical store. So people don't feel so much they don't feel trust right away. So all they need to do is basically reviews with pictures, with articles they put out.
What happened to the yellow pages?
They're gone. Nobody uses yellow pages.
Nobody uses that. It's like,
so
It was direct competition basically, and look what's winning using social media.
It's gone. There's yellow pages. Nobody uses yellow pages. That thing was so thick. I think last time I saw yellow
Like
pages,
oatmeal.
it was so thin. It was like a magazine thin. It was,
but it's like a textbook from school.
yeah.
May
Now
I
it's so
interject?
small.
Oh, okay. May I interject real quick? Something to elaborate with everyone over here.
Wait, but hold up. Wait, before you say that, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But
Are you hungry?
may I interject real quick? I got this email this week, right? Check the title of this email. Changes to YouTube's terms of service.
I also got that.
Yeah, I also got that.
I deleted it.
You're receiving this email because we're updating the YouTube's terms of service in quotation marks terms to clarify our terms and provide transparency to our users. These changes shouldn't significantly alter your access or use of the YouTube services. The first one, a summary of the changes. Facial recognition restrictions.
Wow.
This term of services already states that you cannot collect any information that might identify a person without their permission. While this has always included facial recognition information, the new terms make that explicitly clear. And then there's more, but that's the one that I want to say in that one, like the facial recognition. I didn't even think about that. Like people could run a bot to gather pixel data on individuals that they run a certain playlist of a YouTuber to see that either they're for potential economic growth, a mine for potential economic outcome. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like they can use let's say Avon is sponsoring a girl YouTuber, and then with the data they can contract someone and say they can ask to collect data of their face of how it was before Avon. They wouldn't say it, and then they would give her Avon and show her after, before and after pictures, and all her reference data is on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter. All her selfie pictures are there, and then they probably tell her, or they won't at all. What do you guys think about that?
I mean,
Who goes first?
you can go first, Israel. You're the guest.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
From what I understand is that facial recognition is that they'll be able to see you like in your camera. That's what I get.
No, that's not facial recognition.
Well,
I'm sorry for interrupting, but facial recognition is just, it's simple as recognizing his face from a picture. Now, when you say camera, that's a little bit harder because now you have to access the hardware, and sometimes the hardware of the camera is not always connected to the part that sends out data into the internet.
Or it could be not yet.
It's not so much they can look at you, because that's a lot harder, because not only do you have to access people's firewall, but also access the hardware. And accessing hardware through software, especially through network, is really hard.
Not
tried
impossible.
It. But it's not impossible. It's not
But it's hard.
impossible, but it's really hard, especially to thousands of different hardware.
Okay,
Now,
so
I think the thing that they're trying to say is that they cannot, so they recognize a person's video. So you're watching this video of this person, and like, okay, you really like this person, so we're gonna give you more of that, or like put you out more. Because like, I don't know if you notice, like if you watch a lot of people's certain ads, especially if they're like heavily sponsored, sometimes you see their videos as an ad.
yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's
happened.
probably the things, like they cannot hold facial recognition data like that anymore. It's not so much they can look at your camera, because like I said, that's a little bit out there. That's something like
That's a
if
bit
they
more
get-
safe.
yeah.
I
That's
feel a little
almost
more
hacking.
safe. I feel more
Yeah.
safe now.
So don't worry, they won't look at you. Like a lot. I've heard a lot of people like, oh, they're looking at us through their cameras. Do you realize how much stuff you have to program just so that you can get a feed from your camera? OpenCV
They must
is very
really
hard.
be interested in you.
Yeah,
Think
they
about
must.
Well, that's the reason why people would put tape over their camera, so because they really
No,
thought
yeah,
that.
but like, okay. So the thing I'm getting to that is like, now imagine how hard that is times 1,000. And each one of those things, you have to ask permission from the computer, which the
Damn.
computer will have to ask the user. And
Got it. Okay.
that's not
Each one, not in a general catch-all.
each
I agree.
different way. Yeah, each, like, imagine not even thousands anymore. We're talking about millions upon billions even. And that's something extremely hard. Now, the only way you can bypass all of this stuff, realistically, if you are part of the federal government or you've worked with the federal government, because then you know how to access those things very easily.
But so
aside
in other
from
words, it can be done.
it can
If there's
be
a will,
done,
there's a way.
but you have to have a certain set of skills
Or certain
to
level.
do that.
a
Yeah.
particular set of skills.
Okay.
But yeah,
Exactly.
That's just crazy.
Now, like if you then here's the way how they can do it. You download a software. If you do that, you're basically giving them permission, because now they're putting in a decoy for you, and they can say that can give them access to it immediately.
A backdoor.
So you're talking
Exactly.
about like a spam email with spam text.
Not so much emails, because it's so much like you download something from that spam email. It's like, listen, I need you to look into this, and here's the file. Please look into this. And you're like, okay, let me look at it. You download it, and that's the problem. It has.
Also, it has happened. I mean,
No,
when-
yeah.
I don't know.
Going into different anime websites back in the day, they'd say, "Oh, you need to download the latest version of Adobe Acrobat. Please install. Click here."
No, yeah, exactly. And that's the thing that you should always avoid. Do not download anything.
See,
Now,
but
if you're worried about cookies doing that, cookies
late.
can't really do that.
Oh.
They can't
Damn.
do that. Because cookies doesn't send. It doesn't like. It can't access certain things from your computer. It can only take stuff from it.
Okay, so
Mm.
then
So-
Josue, for the context, so we get a better understanding. For the context of what Marcos read from the email, what does that basically mean in layman's terms? Since it
Yes,
because
doesn't
I have
mean-
it here. I have it here too as
Right.
well.
What would be the
Uh,
context then?
That means that they cannot say if you upload, say if Marcos uploads a vlog of everyone here, Israel, Alan, me, himself. They cannot identify a person within that video. Like unless Marcos says, okay, hey, look, it's me, Isa, Josue, and Alan. Other than that, they
Right.
cannot identify a person and then give it out to people. Unless it's of course
Not like in
police
Google
or the
Photos,
federal
I
government.
guess.
So that
exactly.
would be
The same-
permission
it's
type
the
of
same thing.
scenario.
There was
Yeah.
a legal case for that, I think, right, Isra?
I don't know. That part I don't know.
There
I
was-
just know that.
A legal case that a lady got assaulted while she was on the phone, and I don't know how she recognized the individual that assaulted her and said his name and everything, right? And no, I was wrong. Not on the phone. Her smart speaker Alexa was there, and they had his voice data recorded, and they requested it. The government requested it to recognize him because she had a camera and everything, and they requested that data.
Oh yeah, and
And the
just to,
company
like-
said no.
just to like interrupt Marcos real quick.
Yes.
Here it is. Here's the actual law where they say they cannot. Default, you are not allowed to collect or harvest any information that might identify a person. For example, username, faces, unless permitted by that person or allowed under a section 3 above, which is access the service using. Actually, no. You can't do that. Which I'm guessing, like the thing they're saying here is like they cannot access it unless they're people of law.
There's a probable
Mm.
cause or a reason. What's the other one? Reasonable doubt or probable cause?
No. What I'm
No,
trying
that's
to say
different.
is that they cannot collect this
That's different.
information
Okay,
unless
okay.
they're police with a warrant.
Oh, okay, there we go.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I guess that's different.
And then with
Just like-
2001, the whole act that went through that government can collect all that. Salutations, Marcos here. This is a message to all the listeners out there. There are links in the show notes for our Twitter, email, and even show notes. Any questions or ideas for the podcast can be sent via these links. Now, back to our regularly scheduled podcast.
Well, I think they've been collecting.
that's
At
right.
a certain point, they've been collecting stuff. So
Yeah, and that's the problem when you have big government. You're basically giving up your liberty for safety, and it's like that saying: when you give up your liberty for safety, you deserve neither or neither, rather.
Yeesh.
It's
Those are
a-
heavy
it's a
words, man.
slippery-
Those are heavy
it's a s-
words.
Well, I mean, listen, bro. The I think what people tend to forget is that the democracy that we live in only works because it's been chained up by the actual constitution that was written for it. Because democracy
How
in
long ago
itself
was the
isn't the
Constitution?
best course of
Around 200 years ago, right?
back in 1776.
Damn, they
Yeah,
that
Wasn't it
they-
earlier
they-
than
that
that?
was- Let's ask Google.
Well, it was right. It was
Actually, no,
drafted
no, it was
1787.
No, the constitution was written later.
The one
I
that
think
they
you're
signed.
talking about
Again.
the Declaration of Independence.
Oh no, I'm talking about the
Right.
Constitution.
Yeah, the
No, the
Constitution.
Constitution
Bill of Rights.
1787. Yeah.
So
But
again, the actual democracy that we enjoy, it has
It's
to
not
be chained
pure
up.
democracy.
No, we don't live in a pure democracy because if we
It's-
did, then this place would have gone to hell in a handbasket a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
those guys were smart.
Well, I mean, they left the country for XYZ reasons and came over here. They said, let's figure something out in order for that not to happen. We don't want a king. We don't need a king. What we
Mm-hmm.
need is to distribute power in such a way that there's a check and balance. And this is the
Check and
reason why.
balance.
Exactly. So this is the reason why we have the Constitution, Bill of Rights, and stuff like this in order to keep everything nice and balanced.
That's
So-
the title of this podcast now,
Right.
of this episode.
So
Check and
well-
balances of the internet.
Wait, what?
Sure. Why not?
Who
But,
wants to listen to a podcast called Checks and Balances?
Yeah,
and
that's,
like
how
that.
that's how much money I have written for the check. No, but that I guess you can say this is the reason why we have it, and why. Fast forward, we're now in 2020, and little by little, we're giving up more and more liberties in order for quote unquote safety. When in reality, I think as individuals, we're smart enough to know how to proceed with certain things without big government trying to tell us how to do things, how to think, what to say, and how to communicate with another human being. Or, even if we were to say something that people can disagree with, they're going to disagree with, and it should be up to that point. But when you
In a
have
civil manner.
right, but when you have like rules and regulations of this nature, where we're getting to like the internet, and they're basically
It's a
recording
Wild West.
well, not that it's a Wild West. It goes to the point where we're giving our rights away. It doesn't. We're facilitating for these big, fintech or not fintech. I'm sorry, this Silicon Valley type of networks and companies to basically do whatever they want, and we're giving them the okay to do it, and that's the big problem here. And whether it be Silicon Valley or big government, we're basically giving up our rights because we think that they have our best interest at heart, when in reality they don't.
They're looking
biased.
for themselves.
Yeah, they're biased, and they have an agenda that they're trying to push, and we're just a 1 and 0 that they're trying to crunch numbers and calculate to get their their end goal. So I mean, again, that's what. Yeah.
May I
Go
say
ahead, bro.
something? Like, I find it ironic. You know what Silicon Valley what was the original inspiration? I think it still is. But what was the main reason that even Silicon Valley ever even started? And then
No,
okay,
please
with
elaborate.
the internet, it was a military area for testing R&D, research and development of military equipment and technology.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting, bro.
And
I
then
didn't know that.
they wanted a secure
Wait, hold
method.
up.
Yes.
Wait. I call Cap. We gotta fact check that.
Okay.
Yeah, fact check though.
Okay, let's ask Google. Hey Google,
Fact check.
what is the
Leave it alone.
origin of Silicon Valley? Why was it? Damn it.
On the website Press, Rebus, Community, they say, Silicon Valley grew up in the area between San Jose, California, and San Francisco as a result of Frederick Terman, the legendary dean of Stanford Engineering School during the 1940s and 1950s.
1940s. I mean, I'm what
So
I'm trying
to
to say, the
translate
1940s.
what Google said
What was in the
is that
1940s?
there's Cap.
Yeah, but what was in the 1940s? If
With
you-
World War
1940s, there was
WW2.
yeah, I believe it was a war.
No, but Silicon Valley wasn't called Silicon Valley until 1971.
Yeah, but that area in general. You're right. But I'm trying to say the reasoning of.
But okay. The reasoning behind the name is so much because these chips are made from silicon.
a colloquial term, then?
You get,
Nah.
I get where you're coming from. They're like that area was originally used for military, but then after World War II, a lot of the military
the
stuff
Navy
went
had a
away,
base there.
and then out came these people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, and then like the internet was a military inspiration.
but
or,
because you have
Because you what?
did you get cut out?
No, I hear you.
Like
Did
you
you
got
get
cut off.
What?
Because everyone's silent.
No.
I think he fell asleep.
Yeah,
Hello?
I can hear you, Jose.
Well, we're listening to you.
No, not me. Well, you can hear me.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Now we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, you listen to me? Oh,
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you. now.
we can hear you.
Okay. But yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, why'd it go silent for a second?
I don't know.
But yeah,
Yeah,
we're
it went
listening to
silent
you.
I mean,
on
that's
too.
that's what I'm saying. Like that, Silicon Valley is no, but I'm saying that like Silicon Valley basically the reason behind this because people were making so many chipsets, CPUs as
In the
it was said
40s?
that like it's getting faster and faster. Actually, I think the Moore's law is flawed. I think it's now 6 months, not 18 months anymore.
I heard that back in
Because
high school in
I think as Marco said, it
2007.
grows
No,
exponentially.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have to realize that they're running like crazy developing these new chipsets.
There's a supply and
5G,
there's a demand.
I think was an idea right around the time 4G LTE came out.
Oh.
So I think the updated one is 6 months now, and they're saying that it might be even sooner than that.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
But yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
because it's
Wow, that's
it's
crazy.
it's crazy how fast because you have to realize like for example back in October in 2019 they were still talking about 5G like, oh yeah, we're gonna be out getting it ready
In 10
by
years, I think,
next
right?
year. And I
Oh,
think
no. Whoops, I was wrong.
what was it? Yeah, but by the beginning of this year, or even like by 2019, like end of 2019, phones were starting to come out with 5G capability.
Okay, so another point is that...
Pointer sharp
Yes, sir.
or pointy.
Let's go with something besides technology within, what's still something newsworthy. And I feel
Oh,
like
yeah, I
they're
like
both...
technology.
Yeah, but let's do this.
I also
Listen.
like food.
Let's do this. It says establishing military bases will bring side effects to their respective regions. What do you think that
Wait,
means?
where do you see that?
Yeah.
M6, M8.
Sorry, I'm confused about that one.
Basically, let's see. It's the what's it called? The link itself talks about how. Let's see. Let me open it. Damn it. Can you elaborate with this one, Jose?
It's fake news.
You think it's just the link?
The Department of Air Force has announced the 6 candidate locations being considered for the headquarters of the U.S. Space Command. The new 6 locations include Kirtland Land Air Force Base in New Mexico. That is a word. Wow. Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska. Patrick Air Force Base in Florida. Peterson Air Force Base in Colorado. They have no flavor when naming these bases. Port San Antonio, Texas, and Redstone Army Airfield in Alabama. The Department of Air Force said in the statement, self-nominated communities from across 24 states were evaluated as potential locations for hosting the headquarters. So added. Virtual and on-site visits will now be conducted at the 6 candidate locations before the headquarters site is chosen. The assessment will be based on factors related to missions, infrastructure capacity, community support, and costs to the Department of Defense. As said in the statement.
So what in other words is what I'm trying to say is that because of big government trying to put in a military base, there's going to be some pros and cons to said area that it's going to an economical benefit and also other benefits that
Okay,
for
I got you now.
employment, for clout, I guess, and for
Where'd you get that? That's not an article.
no, but this is an analysis. There's been examples with other areas like I want to say outside the country, like Japan. There have been a lot of economical influences that these things bring historically. That's what I'm trying to say.
So this.
Marcos, you have that?
Yes.
そうですかそうですかそうですね。
There we go.
There we go. But what I'm trying to say is that military bases, specifically U.S. military bases in allied countries, are expensive, but also bring inside the country, in this country, the United States, it brings an economical influx, of money. May that be a market of different things. May that be goods and services of food or of military hardware, which is a good thing for a region, but there's also bad things. I'm just saying on the gun right now.
Okay.
I could just imagine their virtual tools is that they take the dogs that you can remote control, and they're like, all right, so you have in your left here, this is the base, and they just pan it, and you just see the dog is like going around. And it's like all that, like that's a virtual tour. Questions?
Yeah, no, that was my thought for that. And what do you guys think, Alan? Jose, you just said yours, but if you want to say more, obviously you can go on. And Isra.
Oh, so you want me to talk about the positive impacts or the negative impacts?
Which one do you find more influential?
I'll say I have some more positive, to be honest. I mean, because if you're gonna have a lot of people, you're gonna have to feed them. You need to do certain services, like per se, where they're gonna go. Like the soldiers are gonna go to get entertained, so they may go to a local bar. So in a way, you're producing jobs, and also you are showing a part of the American culture to that region.
May that be national or international?
It will be being both. I mean, per se, let's say, just take for instance here in New York, you have in Watertown. The Watertown is up there. The U.S. Coast Guard and the U.S. Army Reserve.
Up there.
Yeah, it's Watertown, New York. It's like it's the border with Canada.
Oh yeah, you're right.
No, but you're like you could be like it's in upper New York, but no, it's like it's up there.
No, I drove there. It's up there.
It's literally up there. It's north on the globe.
Is it close to Mexico, New York?
It's like no, that's further down.
I'm talking about upstate. I'm talking about close border with Canada.
No, I just remember there was a place in New York State that's called Mexico.
Oh no, you pass it. You pass this. Yeah, you're right. Okay. You're right. No, you passed this.
I thought you were just trolling. Okay, wow.
Me?
No, there's also a place called Florida, New York.
There's a place called Troy.
Right.
Troy, New York.
Yeah,
there's a place called Tuckahoe. And you know what's funny? I've been in Tuckahoe so many times, I never noticed it until someone pointed it out.
Really?
Really?
Like, oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
I always thought it was an okay word. They're like, you've never noticed Tuckahoe? I'm like, oh.
Oh. What a dad joke,
Word. So, I mean, going back to this, I mean, when I went there, there's so many businesses that they benefit from the U.S. military base. You're going from psychologists also to nurses, local delis, local bars. I mean, the only reason I mentioned in bars because I went to the bars.
Okay, yeah, no, that's okay.
Wait, so is Watertown like a city or is it like a town?
It's a town. It's a town. I mean,
not like
different
Johnson
towns
City.
There. Yeah, I went to
Johnson City is a town,
but it's in the name.
Yeah.
No, I went to visit some friends up there. That's where I stay in Watertown. And,
nice.
And we went to Cape Vincent, which is like you can stand there and see.
So wait, was it like you described that there's a restaurant. Is it like there's many different restaurants and bars?
Oh no, yes. It's not a small. I mean, it's not a small town. No, you have different businesses. I mean, you have different towns around it too. It's just I'm mentioning that I went specifically to Watertown. That's where I went myself. I stay in Watertown, but like I mentioned, there's also housing. So people, they live in the different apartments. So you have to understand that if let's say they bring their families, they have to go to school, they have to go to the doctor. So if you're talking about internationally, I guess you can see those kids will be exposed to the culture, the local culture. Like let's say they're in Mexico, so they will be exposed to the Mexican culture and vice versa. So this way, you can say that the American culture can be like let's say Nike, Jordan, the things that we do here. That's how they get exposed in other nations and be like, oh, so that's the American dream. You can say that.
The McDonald's, the Coca-Cola.
The McDonald's, yes.
The heartburn, the diabetes, yes, of course.
So I see
So,
more
like,
positive
were
stuff
there-
than negatives.
Were there like any like local attractions, like something specifically for Watertown?
Yes, there were a boat museum.
Boat?
And yeah, boat museum that they have really nice boats, like really old boats. And there was another attraction which is a castle in an island. That this guy, yeah, like a lot of money. Oh, go ahead, go ahead. You want to say something?
No, it was me. No, I just.
Oh.
I think it was Alan. Are you okay, Alan?
Yeah, I'm great.
Oh,
I'm listening. This is
Yeah,
like, I like the information. It's good.
I thought that was you, Marcus.
No, no.
yeah, I thought
I'm
somebody was
looking
gonna
at the
say something.
levels.
All right, so this guy making this building this castle for his wife, and he's paying a lot of money, right? And one day the wife dies, and the guy literally picks up the phone, calls the construction managers to stop the project, and that's basically it. Like, they stop everything because he was not gonna pay anything. Then I guess the state or the county bought that land and they kind of just constructed the castle. But before that, it was just abandoned. People used to go there, and then they used to throw pennies in this pool. Like, there's a pool in the basement. So I mean, now you can just go and walk around the island and everything. But it's just kind of an interesting story about that. So
That's what's up.
mhm.
That's really interesting. All right.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
I mean, it was nice. I mean, to be honest with you, it's different than, I mean, still New York, but it's different than
It's a
what we
different
hear.
flavor of New York.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
not like White Plains, New York.
No, it's not.
Or Eastchester. Or Bronxville. Or Yonkers.
Or Tuckahoe.
There you go, buddy.
I mean, they're getting snow already, I think.
I can.
Over there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I can see that. I think Johnson
can't-
City's already got
I
snow.
can't imagine because it happened.
Yeah. So okay, now Alan, would you like to say any opinion about this news article?
I mean, again, I don't know why I had this in the back of my mind when you started explaining about if there's a detriment or a benefit if actual army base is there. I think for army bases that are more internationally, maybe in I guess past years when I guess wars were a little bit more prevalent, and what comes to mind is like the Vietnam War. I don't know. I remember. Well, maybe not the Vietnam War. Maybe it was the Korean War. There you go, the Korean War. I think one of the cultural things that were shared there, and I think we benefited a lot from it in the sense of South Korea was introduced to fried chicken.
Oh,
American style or Southern fried
Colonel?
chicken. No. Southern style fried chicken.
it's different.
And well, remember when we order the chicken wings from the BBQ place? Oh, I hear Marco's mouth watering already.
Wait, so
So-
have you had that place?
So this is the reason why they were introduced to that style of frying chicken, because the American army base went to South Korea, or there was a American base that was placed in South Korea, and one of those cultural things that was beneficial and was actually shared with was the style of cooking that Americans took over there, and obviously the people that lived in South Korea adopted the style of cooking or frying the chicken the way Americans did it. And they flourished. They made it their own with their South Korean spices and the way they like to season their food. And I think you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fried chicken that we ordered from the South Korean
Always.
wing or
Always. I
barbecue
haven't tried
place.
it yet.
And we will definitely have a
You already
nice
know.
box to share with you when we do
Well,
our
we
live
gotta plan
recording.
this out.
Yeah.
I don't
Two
think I
boxes,
can have
not
it.
just one.
I can't have it because I'm allergic to gluten. So if
are
it has
you?
bread, yeah. So if it has bread, then I can have it.
Well, we'll
Isn't it
ask
made
if
with
they have.
cornstarch?
If it is
Yeah.
cornstarch, then I can have it.
Yeah, we'll definitely ask if it's cornstarch or regular breading. But again, we'll have something for you. So we can share.
Alan, you know what this
break
means,
bread.
right?
Well,
Yeah, there's
what
no
does that-
sandwiches.
We need to make. We
or
need.
no pizza.
This is content potential
Unless-
for a video. Ah!
Well, it would be
What?
gluten free though.
Yes.
We would have to look for a gluten free place.
Or
Oh, you don't have to. I always manage. No matter where I go, I always manage. It's a lifestyle that I have
You've
fully
developed a
embraced. Yeah, I mean, if I go to an Italian restaurant, I ask for like a filet of sole with steamed vegetables. I'm good to go.
Mm.
You know?
is there like a pill or something like that for like?
But you're not a big steak person then? Or you'd
yeah,
rather
but
go
this-
for the fish? Or you,
No, I'm just saying. You know, I'm just talking about using that as a reference. But I'll go
Oh,
for
yeah,
steak.
yeah. Okay, okay.
The steak with
Yeah, I
mashed
was-
potatoes.
Oh yeah, there you go. No, I was just curious because because I worked in the culinary world, I guess you can say, where it's like not that it's a telltale sign of people's characteristics or what they do or how they
Wait,
do
what?
things,
Okay.
but a lot of people usually gravitate to certain things. Like I know someone that doesn't like seafood at all, and if they smell like seafood in the air, they automatically question what's on their plate and they don't eat.
No.
What?
Press
Yeah,
X to
yeah.
down.
Really? Is that you?
Damn.
Yeah.
No.
I really I
Season
didn't
doesn't
know
bother
that.
me.
Oh wait,
So-
no, I was just kidding.
Oh,
So
also, I
and then
doubt it.
and then like not to be like critical of someone or I guess you could say judgy, but if a person comes into a restaurant and they ask for their steak, you know how of all their food, steak is one of those things that you can actually give you an option on how you like
Mhm.
it to be cooked.
Yes.
So you'll have like a rare, a medium rare, a well
Extra
done.
thick.
So it's one of those things where you're like, okay, so if you get an order, a ticket comes into the kitchen, and a person asks for a steak well done, you're like, why?
What? Now,
Yeah.
this is another question that you incentivized me inspiraste, you inspired me to say it. What out of those? There's only 3 levels, right, of cooking of a steak.
No, there's
Technically-
more.
No, there's more.
There's more.
So
But,
yeah. But what does that say to you on depending
All right.
each level?
And before I answer that question, bro, let me just finish up my thought.
Let's put it on
That-
food segment. Hold up. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Because basically, what I was trying to get at was that I think there are certain culturally distinctive things that are beneficial when you have, an army base or something of that nature. Somewhere else that's not from that place, you have that nice melting pot of ideas, of food, language, and other
Money
ideas.
exchange.
Yeah. Oh, and some sort of commerce begins to a certain degree. That's beneficial. Obviously, there's also negatives. You can't always there isn't always only positives. There's also negatives. You get to, I guess you could say, people start infringing on other people's ways of life because they just do things differently, and culturally that might be a culture shock, or that might be something that rubs people the wrong way.
The South Korean thing, like you said.
Again, the positive was the delicious fried chicken that I can think of, but a negative
I can
would
think
probably
of it. Yeah.
right. A negative could be maybe certain customs that Americans have that South Koreans probably think that that doesn't seem right, or that's something that we don't do, and that might be something that they would think or see it in a negative light. And again, it can be the way they act, the way they do certain things that culturally they're opposed to that, or they don't like. And that's what I wanted to end my thought about that certain degree. Like maybe nationally, when you have other things branching out from a army base, it usually tends to be a positive thing because you want to pay homage to the people that risk their lives to go out and protect and serve the country. It's always an honorable thing, and I see it as a positive thing where you get to, maybe if you live in an area that houses or has an army base, you can always pay respect to these people, because it takes a crazy amount of courage to put yourself in that situation to serve
100%.
serve your country, and shout out to all the people that are out there that serve in the armed forces. It's great to have those people on our side, on our team.
Yep. Salute to them.
Um,
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I guess if you guys want to move on to the food section.
Ooh, may I put one more thing for? Oh, hold up.
Sure.
Oh, I do have something to contribute about the chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Deep fried chicken too.
Delicious, yes.
Well, I was going to mention to you that in Japan for Christmas it has become a tradition to have
Right.
deep fried chicken. I don't know. I mean, I don't know where it comes from, but as far as I know, that's
Well,
KFC deep fried,
KFC,
fried
I think,
chicken.
Yeah.
So let me tell you the story behind that.
Oh, you know the story? Perfect.
Good. So the reason it basically kind of starts off because for Americans, the whole concept of Thanksgiving starts, or not concept, but expats or people that spend time or work over in Japan, starting off with Thanksgiving, the kitchens over there aren't made to or their kitchenettes or their stoves and ovens weren't made or aren't made to house or cook a whole turkey.
The
Turkey over
whole
there-
turkey?
Well, that's because turkey isn't plentiful over there. It's not a bird that locally lives in,
Yeah, it's not a local
Japan.
bird. And it's
So-
big too, so
So being Japan, the way it's constructed and the way it is, the kitchen and the ovens, the ranges that with ovens inside aren't big enough to accommodate turkey. So being an American, or
You can
people that
fucking
live
cook
in
a
the
whole
States.
cow in some places.
Well, again, Japan isn't structured that way. It's really tiny, like apartment buildings and just places to live are a lot tinier and a lot smaller and a lot more quaint, if you want to go that route, than places here in the States. Cooking a whole turkey over here, no problem. I have enough room in my oven to house a turkey, the stuffing, and maybe a sweet potato pie or whatever the case is, right?
All at
The
the
ranges-
same time.
Well, the range is just that big. The oven is just that big over here. Over there, that's not the case. So starting off with that, from Thanksgiving all the way on to Christmas.
A logistics matter, basically.
Well, you're homesick. You're not home. You're probably not with family. And Thanksgiving is one of those celebrations that you tend to visit family and spend time with family, breaking bread and eating and stuff like that. And turkey is the main staple for Thanksgiving. And then even for Christmas, usually what Americans tend to do is have a Christmas ham, a Christmas bird of some sort, whether it be turkey or chicken. But
Duck.
again, well, not really so much duck unless you're French or if you're Asian, I think, like Chinese or
Or
something, like a
ostrich.
Peking
I
duck.
was gonna say that, damn it.
Yeah, unless you're an Aussie. In Australia, they
Oi,
I
oi.
mean, they probably have techniques and stuff like that for ostrich to cook it and make it taste really delicious. But again, back to the point of Japan and Turkey. So at a certain point, people from the States living over there or studying over there or just being over there during the festive season of Thanksgiving and Christmas and things like that, because KFC was already over there and Americans were homesick, they went over to KFC and bought their chicken and I guess pretended to make it into like a Thanksgiving dinner, and that was the closest. Yeah, that was the closest thing that they had, not being turkey and having I guess you could say, a festive meal. So KFC Japan caught on to that need and that want of Americans being in Japan
That
during
demand.
that time, that demand, and they
Yeah.
obviously they saw it because of sales. Sales went up, especially during that season and during that time, because Americans would go there that were living in Japan. And basically, that's how it kind of snowballed, and they started putting out that type of commercial and that type of propaganda to get people, not only American and American clientele, to get their Christmas turkey or their Thanksgiving turkey or their festive turkey, I guess you can say, with them. But they would give you like the works, like they would give you the food, but they would always also package like the fixings and the plates and everything
Oh,
else,
yes.
like the cups, the utensils. So it was like a
the
complete
whole
package.
the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole feast.
Bro, it was literally a dinner in a bag.
in the bucket.
Nice.
Yeah,
No work needed. So,
Yeah, your plates, your cups, your utensils, everything was
Your chocolate
already
cake.
and yeah, no, everything was there. Your dessert. So it was like a package deal where they started doing these package deals where you had like a family of like 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever the case is, and they gave you like this nice fancy packaging and everything as a as a promotion or a package that you could buy at
Imagine
KFC.
walking in with that in Thanksgiving. Here we go.
So
And that is how.
But I think it's for
KFC
Christmas,
in
though.
Japan.
They do it for
No,
Christmas, though.
it is for Christmas. It is for Christmas.
Yeah.
But again, it just goes to show you how much culturally speaking,
Mhm.
Americans have affected other countries with not only fast food but their traditions, and
Yep.
how companies take advantage of that and kind of also share that with the local people of that country. And a lot of locals, in this case Japanese people, now go over to KFC and do that traditionally now, and it's become a big thing. So it's a pretty funny story, though, if you think about it. But it's cool. I think it's really neat that they get to
Yeah.
experience that, and
also.
Americans that are living there, still get to, like, I guess you could say, partake into their festive meal.
That's Taco Bell.
KFC.
Okay.
One more thing.
One more thing.
So one more. I feel like that was a good closing statement, and I feel like it was properly.
Well, you were talking about steak though before. We were talking about steak.
I'm gonna hold up. I feel like
No,
there's
we're talking about
One
the
more
military.
thing.
yeah, there's one more. I feel one more, literally one more. Let's do this. M4 basically, also for reference. So I'm gonna do the last one, and I'll elaborate with the reading. Or Jose, could you do the link, and I'll read my thought there. The high
Wait, you have thoughts?
M4. Yeah, right. Okay, so there was a thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make products interconnected via the internet. Check. Make those machines smaller and more powerful.
Oh no, you're gonna.
Each generation to the point that it's an industry business. Check. Now integrate deep learning within the newest and smallest Internet of Things devices. Business is nature's technology towards. Business nurtures technology towards improved iterations. Let's do this. What does that mean?
Can you elaborate a little bit more? Like, I didn't quite get what you're
So
trying to say
basically,
with that.
there was a thought back in the 80s. Some IT students wanted to.
Buddy once told me the world was gonna.
So basically, there was a thought that an engineer in California. No, I think it was in California. I don't know. It was a college student wanted to know if there was a soda in stock by his soda machine, but he didn't want to go physically there. So what did he do? He put in sensors in the soda machine and connected it via the internet so that he can just have a web connected to a web address, he can go to the website and say yes or no, and that's it. That way, he doesn't waste his time going down to the soda machine. Now,
so what happens if he's on his way to the soda machine and someone buys the last soda?
oh well, he just met.
He gets an alert.
That was
He gets an alert out of
Midway
stock.
there, he's like, "Ah."
Out of stock.
Oh, goodness. Oh, no.
But this was in the 80s, so I don't think there were smartphones. He could just go in once and probably read it via CMD command prompt, and that's it. But he wouldn't be able to get it.
So wait, Marcos. Let me ask you this: what do you think deep learning is?
And that's what I was talking to everyone before, that it's a part, a potential component of AI.
Whoa! Hey, that's it for part 1.
What? There's a part 2 then, right?
Of course.
Okay, guys. Stay tuned for part 2 of this podcast. By the way, what's the release schedule, Josue?
Well, depending on what it is, the next episode could be either Thursday or next week, Tuesday.
Okay, so me, the editor, I'll try to make sure, sorry, delirious over here. I'll try to make sure that I'll release it at an early time every Tuesday and Thursday on East Coast time.
So that means if you're on the West Coast, you're about 4 hours behind.
The West Coast, really?
Yes, the West Coast. I said the West Coast. Oh, I meant the West Coast.
This is staying in.
This is staying in.
This is gold. But anyways, listeners, until next
Please.
time,
Stay tuned.
stay frosty.
Oh, I like Frosty.
Hi there. Thank you for tuning into the LTS podcast. All the notes and more can be found in the description. By the way, we have a social media page where content is posted regularly. Feel free to reach out at us through there or via email. Both are found in the description. When you support the show, we have a merch store where you can buy an item that you like. If buying merch is not your thing and you just want to support the show directly, we also have links to those too, if you'd like. Thank you. Also, every comment is really appreciated. Credits in the description as well. Peace.